Today, I am going to review how to clean and sanitize your brewing equipment. We will go over the difference between cleaning and sanitizing and how best to do both. I will tell you why each is so important to making great tasting beer and wine. Then we'll go over what needs to be cleaned or sanitized. I'll be splitting this up into two sections, cleaning first, then sanitizing. Let's begin. So what is the difference between cleaning and sanitizing? They are two different things and you should pay equal attention to both. Cleaning is the removal of large debris. This is the visible junk, such as yeast, hops, and proteins. Removing stains is also considered cleaning. Sanitizing is the reduction of the number of living organisms that are on your equipment. These living organisms are what spoil beer and turn wine into vinegar. They're not visible to the naked eye, but getting them down to safe levels is critical. Let's start with cleaning. Clean equipment will make clean beer. Dirt and debris will harbor tons of critters that will ruin your beer. Getting rid of all of the grime will ensure that your sanitizer will work properly. The old saying goes, you can't polish a turd. Well, you can't sanitize dirt either. Let's take a moment to review what you'll need to clean on a regular basis. The list includes your fermenter, your airlock, and any hoses you use to transfer. You'll also need to keep your spoon, your kettle, and anything else that you use during the brewing process spotless. Be sure to clean any testing equipment you use. Always fill clean bottles and cap with clean crowns. Finally, wash your hands. Now that we have an idea of what we need to clean, let's look at the best ways to clean these items. The trusted set of steps is wash, rinse, sanitize. I highly recommend cleaning dirty equipment as soon as possible. The longer you wait, the worse off you will be. Using hot water with cleansers is always a good idea, and it will make cleaning much easier. Using scrub pads and brushes such as these will make your life much easier. Be careful not to scratch plastic buckets and hoses. The scratches will hide organisms from sanitizers. Be sure to fully rinse all soap from your equipment. Some soaps will counteract sanitizers, making them useless. Now, what kind of soap and cleansers are okay to use on brewing equipment? We recommend that you use a mild, brewing-specific chemical called PBW, or powdered brewery wash. This is a chemical very similar to the popular OxyClean and works wonders. Be sure to follow the directions on the package that tell you how much to add. It works best in very hot water, and you can soak really dirty items overnight with no problem. Be sure to completely rinse off all of the chemical when you're done cleaning. You can also use dish soap or mild unscented hand soap. These types of soap work great on grease, but you'll find that extra scrubbing will be required to clean your brewing equipment. Be sure to use only enough soap to make a little bit of foam. If you use too much, you'll leave a soapy residue behind. If your soap is scented, be extra careful to fully rinse all of it off. You don't want soap-scented beer or wine. The third method of cleaning involves a lot of hot water paired with a lot of elbow grease. Simply scrubbing a dirt under hot water is an effective way of cleaning. Please be careful not to burn yourself in scalding hot water. An extended soak or pre-rinse with hot water will loosen the dirt for you and will make your job a little easier. Remember, it's easy to scratch plastic buckets and hoses, so use a soft sponge on these items. Now let's move on to the next step, which is sanitizing. Remember, sanitizing is a separate step from cleaning. We're not sterilizing, which is completely removing all of the living critters. We are sanitizing, which is just bringing the amount of critters down to a safe level. This is a very important step in making fresh-tasting beer and clean wines. The critters I mentioned include wild yeasts and bacteria. There are no known harmful viruses or bacteria that will survive in beer or wine. They will only make your beer and wine taste terrible. So what should be sanitized? Be sure to sanitize anything that comes into contact with the beer after the boil. This includes your fermenter and airlock, your siphoning equipment, your bottles and caps, and anything else that will touch the beer. Be sure to sanitize your siphon equipment when you test gravity. When you sanitize your fermenter, be sure to fill it all the way full with sanitizer. Now, what kind of chemicals should you use to sanitize your equipment? All of the chemicals I will mention have a minimum amount of time that they need to act on critters, called a contact time. Be sure to always give your sanitizer enough time to do its job. Using more sanitizer will not make it work faster, it will only cost you more money. All of the following chemicals can be added to clean, warm water. Make sure there is no cleaning chemicals left behind after rinsing. Except for one exception, all of your sanitizers should be used only once. All of the sanitizers I will mention are safe to flush down the drain and won't affect your septic systems. The easiest sanitizer to use is called One Step. This dry powder is easily dissolved in water and does a very good job of sanitizing. Be sure to follow the directions on the package to make sure you use enough. The contact time of One Step is 5 minutes. One Step does not need to be rinsed off after sanitizing. Simply drain out all of the liquid and allow your equipment to drip dry. One Step works very well on any of your brewing equipment. The next chemical you should know about is called Star San. This liquid is an acid-based chemical that creates a powerful sanitizer when mixed with the correct amount of water. Star San has only a 1-minute contact time, and the foam will sanitize as well as the liquid. Star San doesn't need to be rinsed off either, but you should let any residual foam dry off before touching any beer or wine. You can store the sanitizer in a spray bottle to have at hand for quick sanitizing jobs. Because Star San is such a powerful sanitizer, you can store it and reuse it later. Just keep it in a container with a tight-fitting lid and discard it when it gets cloudy. The third sanitizing chemical you should know about is sodium metabisulfite, also called Camden tablets. This chemical is well known in the wine world and is commonly used to sanitize all wine-making equipment, including bottles and corks. It works well for sanitizing brewing equipment, but it must be fully rinsed off or else some off flavors will be found in your beer and wine. Some people are sensitive to sulfates, so care should be taken to fully rinse off this chemical. Add 1 Camden tablet per gallon of water or 2 ounces of sodium metabisulfite per gallon. The contact time for these chemicals is 5 minutes. There are several more sanitizers that could be mentioned, such as quaternary sanitizers, but they are not as common and can be expensive. If you use one of the 3 sanitizers I described, you won't have any problems. Clean and sanitized equipment will make clean, great-tasting beer and wine. You now have all of the tools you need to keep all of your equipment clean and ready to use. You know the difference between cleaning and sanitizing, and how to do both. If you have any more questions, feel free to contact us at 1-800-450-9535 or email us at outpost@homebrewers.com.